the time of enslavement, darkness, and violence, they risked their young lives. On their shoulders, they were carrying Poland.
Nazywam się Maria Kowalewska, pseudonim Myszka, ale o tym później powiemy.
My name is Maria Kowalewska, and my war name is Mouse. I'll tell you more about it later. I was born in the town of Nakło, on the river Noteć. My father opened a dentist's office there. He was a doctor. When my parents left Nakło, they moved to Gdynia, which was a fast-growing city. I was skinny, blonde, and quite good-looking. And what's important, I was ambitious. I had two sisters. Barbara was the eldest. Ursula was younger than Barbara, but still older than me. Before the Second World War broke out, I had been a student at the Ursuline Sisters. It was a very exclusive gymnasium. The Ursuline Sisters were true patriots, and there was this priest who was so in love with Poland, and he taught us all about patriotism. In my family, we lived according to the motto, God, honor, fatherland. My generation would fight to protect those values. God, honor, fatherland was the guiding principle in the life of every righteous Pole. It has been guiding me throughout my entire life. That's the truth.
I z tym szłam w życie. Naprawdę. Gdy wybuchła wojna światowa, do mego taty przyszedł gestapowiec.
When the Second World War broke out, a Gestapo officer came to see my father. The man warned him to leave Gdynia as soon as possible because his name was on the list of people who were going to be arrested. And that's what really happened. The Germans arrested 40,000 people, almost the entire intelligentsia. They were either deported to Auschwitz or sent to Germany for slave labor. In Warsaw, we stayed at Marszałkowska Street. I attended the Święcicka-Słojewska school. It was a Polish-French pre-war high school. In 1939, my eldest sister Barbara received her maturity diploma. She had a boyfriend, Roman Litvin. He was a famous teacher and was very fond of my sister. However, my parents didn't want my sister, who was only 19, to marry at such a young age. That's why they enrolled her at a university in England. But then the war broke out. Barbara didn't go study in England, and Roman Litvin, her fiancé, was gone without a trace. One day, my father bumped into him on Marszałkowska Street. My dad greeted him and called him by his name, and Roman said nothing. A few days later, he came to visit us. It was quite unusual because my father hadn't given him our address. Roman told my dad he was very sorry for acting so stupid. In 1939, Roman was going to be in England. He was sent to the Home Army. When he had fulfilled his duties, he came to us to say goodbye to his fiancée. While we were having dinner together, my father asked him to take Barbara to England with him. She spoke English, German, and French fluently, so she could be helpful there. But no, why be in such a small country as England? She would do better in Poland, extending from sea to sea. Suddenly, we heard a loud bang on the door, and then the Gestapo officers rushed inside. They knocked us down. We were on the floor. They handcuffed Roman Litvin. They handcuffed my father. My sister Barbara and my dad were taken to Auschwitz. And Roman Litvin was also taken somewhere. He even managed to send us some messages. But one day the letters just stopped coming, and we never knew what had happened. My dad died 3 months later. He died in Auschwitz, but my sister survived. And my sister Ursula? In Warsaw, there were roundups. The Germans would close a street, capture casual people, and load them onto trucks. That's how my sister got deported to the Majdanek camp. And now my mother was a widow, with one daughter in Majdanek and the other one in Auschwitz. I was the only child who was left with her, a little mouse. My mom couldn't make ends meet, and we had to move to a flat on Leszno Street. It was on the border with the ghetto in Warsaw. Many a time when I was on my way to school, I saw dead bodies hanging from balconies. These people were Jewish. Our Polish language has so many words, but there are no words to describe what was really happening in the ghetto.
W getcie było to się nie da opisać, naprawdę. Uważam, że w czasie okupacji
I think that during the occupation, the Warsaw residents behaved like great patriots. I don't want to sound too proud, but as a young girl, I also felt obligated to fight for my country. Because it was a fight for Poland. We would fight to be legitimate Polish citizens, right? So I figured that I had to belong to some organization and find a way to liberate my country, and to follow my God, honor, fatherland principles. We would instill those values in everyone, and I must say that young people were very committed, very much indeed. Together with my friend, I pledged the oath to the National Armed Forces. I can still remember the words. I will serve the Republic of Poland faithfully and fight with all my strength, even to the extent of sacrificing my own life. So help me God. Then I was given my war name, the Mouse, and I have been the Mouse up to this day. We were trained to be nurses.
Z Myszką. Miałyśmy szkolenia na sanitariuszki. I jak wybuchło powstanie, to myśmy nie zostały powiadomione.
When the Warsaw Uprising broke out, we didn't receive any official notice, but I volunteered to work at the field hospital. They welcomed me with open arms. They knew that the nurses of the National Armed Forces were very good. Meanwhile, the Germans seized the Wola district. The hospital was evacuated to the old town, and part of it was moved to the city center. The commander told me then, "Mouse, you can't stay in the hospital because the Germans are going to be here soon." I said that we would not leave our wounded patients without care, and so I stayed. Eventually, the Germans did barge into the hospital. I remember we protected a wounded boy with our own bodies, a poor young boy. But when the Germans broke inside, they knocked me to the floor and shot the wounded patients right in front of us. There was nothing we could do to stop them. Then I thought to myself, now they are going to kill me. I even wanted it to happen very much. But they didn't shoot me. They left us right there, on the ground. They probably went to drink some more vodka, as they had already been drunk. We knew every corner of the field hospital, so we managed to escape. We changed clothes and then we started to walk to the town of Pruszków, together with my mom and other civilians. The heat was unbearable. It was a horrific march. Thousands of people. The Germans picked up young men from the crowd and executed them in front of us. It was a traumatic experience. I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and it all comes back.
Nieraz się w nocy budzę i przypomina mi się. Udało nam się uciec.
We somehow managed to escape and then we went to Radom. We lived there long enough to see the end of the Second World War.
Doczekałyśmy się zakończenia II wojny światowej. Walczyliśmy my po to,
we were fighting because we wanted the values of God, honor, and fatherland to become the icon for every Pole. And we were successful. My generation succeeded because we passed it on to the next generation. We can see it in high schools or in gymnasiums. We can see it in towns here, all around Toruń. I see that young people are very interested and that the values of God, honor, and fatherland have become iconic in their lives. That's the truth, believe me. Love your country and fight to raise a new generation of righteous people.
By wychowała pokolenie ludzi prawowitych.
Young, free, idealistic. Thanks to them, we live in Poland, in a free Poland, out of gratitude for Poland. Subsidized by the Polish National Foundation.